Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay and this is Life with Lindsay. Today we have a whip and chat. This is a new start since the last time you guys saw me. This is Steampunk Bunny by Sandra Vargas from Diamond Art Club. I have an unboxing for this. This was a while ago. If I can find it, I will put it up in the eye. But anyway, hi! If you are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay. I do mainly diamond painting and some other crafting related content. And I would love for you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. Let's be friends. If you've been here before, hi, welcome. So, this is a color blocking heaven dream. It's really funny. I did this black part down here without a light pad. And now I realize like how off I was on a lot of things. So, I cannot for the life of me find my straightener. Yeah, I've got one pen that has like a really nice, good long straightener on it. I can't find it. So, I may or may not attempt to fix that or find like a credit card or something like that. But anyway, if you guys are watching this, I know it's a day late. I had no motivation. To be completely honest with you guys, I just had no motivation to film yesterday. I have to film this. I have to film, the event video. So those are going to be out of order. This should be up, if my calculations are correct, this will be up Tuesday. And then the event video will be up Wednesday. I have a post review for you guys for Alice and Roses. I have an unboxing that I have to film of a new Alice in Wonderland painting from Diamond Art Dreams that has shown up after a while. We'll talk about that when I unbox it. But if you guys are interested in participating in Alice in Winter Wonderland, the event itself does not end until February 14th. So you are more than welcome to hop in, join us, paint along the way. I am currently drinking a brown butter toffee latte from Dunkin'. It's like mostly milk. And sugar. It tastes good though. Where am I? Let's pull out a color and work. So, this video, because it is a whip and chat during the event, the way this works is I will be hiding what I call Easter eggs. That is when I put something super quick up on the screen, like for a flash, a fraction of a second, not anything that'll be there for a substantial amount of time. I can also tell you right now, because of the size of what I'm working on, I will 100% be out of frame at points. Which, am I in frame now? Oh, I am. Okay. So, but if you guys are just listening to this, it wouldn't make a difference anyway. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you guys what I'm doing. This is a whip and chat. Ooh-wee. Let's backtrack here. If you don't know what a whip and chat is, that's when I work on my current whip, which is WIP, work in progress. And you can work on whatever it is that you want to be working on. It can be another craft project. It can be a household project. It can be while you're driving, while you're doing chores, while you're folding laundry, while you're meal prepping, whatever it is that you want to do. I always say there is no right way or wrong way to whip and chat. So, my bad. I didn't tell you guys what we were doing. But anyway, so this, as I mentioned, will be a whip and chat that does include those Easter eggs. I have the Easter egg winner from last week's video. So when you see the event video for this week, it was from last week's video. I just filmed them out of order because I keep forgetting to charge my tablet and I need my tablet in order to put together the video for the event. Because that's what I can pull up the spreadsheet on while I'm using my phone to record. Which I am frantically trying to get away from. I feel like I've talked about this before. Like, I am so not tech savvy, but my phone just can't handle doing what I needed to for my sole provider of the platform that I use for recording, editing, all of that stuff. I'm getting to the point now where my phone is however many years old and it just doesn't want to like hold a charge very long. So, you know, all of that fun stuff. But anyway, now that we've gotten the boring stuff out of the way, if you guys do see one of my Easter eggs, if you are the first person to take a screenshot of it and send it to me, you can send it to me on DM on Instagram or on my email address. Both are listed down below. And then you'll become my featured account for the next event video. And what that means, if you are new to my channel or you haven't seen this before that I do this, I take my platform and I showcase you. It can be share your social media, your YouTube channel, your small business, your best friend's small business, whatever you want to use your platform for, to share with the others. And that way, I know I don't have a large platform, but I know I have a platform that's larger than some other people, and it's definitely smaller than other people's, but it's a good way to get new eyeballs onto you. Or if you're looking for people who, you know, love the craft, and obviously they enjoy Alice in Wonderland, you do not need to participate in the event in order to be the featured account. So, you guys, how cute is this? This is my Wednesday Addams sweater. I should probably post like a full photo of it. I will say, it's been a while, you guys. This canvas, the drills are so staticky in this, which is not my fave. But anyway, I hope that you guys all had a wonderful week. I'm going to share with you guys all the fun and not so fun things that I did with mine. I am currently recording this while my kiddo is at school. The hopes is that I will be able to get this edited and up without any issues, knock on wood. I've been having a lot of technical issues, and part of me is wondering if it has anything to do with the length of my videos, but I don't want to sacrifice my long videos just so that my editing app still works. It's been a pain, and nobody really cares about the small details of it. Just, it shouldn't take me 4 or 5 hours to get a 1-hour video off my phone, and I'm having to like save it in tiny little steps and then cancel it and then save it again and then cancel it and add in the thing and then save it and cancel it. It's exhausting. But there hasn't been an update to the app, so I know that that's not what it is, and I haven't changed anything on my end. And then I contacted the developer, and they're like, well, send us your video. And I'm like, how the hell am I going to send an hour-long video to them? I can't even send like a 5-minute video through email unless I, you know, make a Google Doc link or Google Photo link. I feel like a lot of that is melted. So let's see. I don't think we did anything last Sunday. If we did, I don't remember. And my Google Maps, there we go, couldn't think of the word, didn't have us leaving the house, so I don't think we did any. I don't think we went anywhere. It's crazy. I am not usually bothered by being able to see, you know, the symbol underneath, but man, when you have black drills over a white symbol with a light pad under it, it makes it real obvious. And I'll explain to you guys why I didn't have a light pad, because I actually got to diamond paint with a friend this week. So let's talk about the week. Monday. Okay, so my kid finally was like back at school. If you guys didn't know, the previous week she had school one day, and I was like, ugh. The disruption in the routine is killing me. I have her kindergarten transition meeting next week, which I am kind of freaking out about. Not kind of, I'm definitely freaking out about it, because I don't know if I don't know how it works with the transition of an IEP. If you guys don't know what an IEP is, it's an individualized education plan. That's what has all of the accommodations listed and the goals listed for what they want my child to achieve in terms of learning. And we have one for speech and occupational therapy as well. I don't suspect my child is going to qualify for either one of those services in the kindergarten classroom. And that's okay. But I do want, if you are somebody who has a similar background to me, then maybe you've had these kinds of accommodations. But as a child with ADHD, I was diagnosed when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I received certain accommodations throughout school, college, all of that, including, and I didn't take it up very often, but to know that I had that option there was great. I was able to have extended test taking. I think I got time and a half. So if it was a half hour, I would have to take a test. I would get 45 minutes for it. I had the opportunity to take a test in a quiet room, because for me, if somebody was sitting there going with their pencil, that's all I could hear. And like, it was, I could sit there and totally just shut down because I couldn't concentrate on my actual work that was assigned to me. When I was older, I had the ability to have note takers in college. I was allowed to bring a laptop in an era when laptops were not permissible in lecture halls. I was allowed to audio record all of my lectures and things like that. So they're just tools to help me succeed. And I want to make sure that my daughter has whatever tools she's going to need in place for her. And it's one of those things that, like, I don't know how much of her current IEP, like, did they just go, okay, well, she's likely going to achieve those goals and then not worry about it? I have no idea. So I'm freaking out a little bit. I also don't know if I want to ask the school to have, like, a reevaluation for her. I have some concerns for her potentially having some learning difficulties. I don't know what's age appropriate and what is like, oh, that's truly the struggle of a 5-year-old. Where did that little piece come from? Come on. Come on. You guys, can you guys see that? You don't want to focus? There you go. Like, oh, well, I lost it. And it sucks because, so the way it works, like where I live, is they do the kindergarten transition meetings for the kids with IEPs before they do them for your kids without them, because you've got plenty of students who are going to require an evaluation from the school. And the IU, which is the intermediate unit, they have over 900 kids entering kindergarten between the two counties with an IEP in the fall. So it takes a lot of time. So, you know, some kids, they require the school to evaluate them for whatever purpose. And so it's just a long process. But because of that, since, like, quote unquote typical kids are not starting this process till later, the parent-teacher conferences for my kids' current school don't start until like March or April. By then, I've already gone through the whole process, so I'm scrambling a little bit, and I want to talk to her teacher, and I got to remember to email her because this is quickly approaching. Anyway, such a tangent. So Monday, we went to school. We did a post office run. We usually do a post office run on Mondays for my husband's business. If you guys didn't know, he is the DaddaMonster. He makes custom Funko Pop figures. It's funny. His listing right now says, like, perfect for Easter. And the amount of people that are like, hey, man, I wanted to order a custom pop. I'll get that in time for Valentine's Day, right? No. Valentine's Day is in 2 weeks. It's a 6 to 8 week turnaround time. Sometimes, I'm sorry, it's an 8 to 10 week. 8 to 10? I don't know. I'll double. Either way, when he doesn't have a lot of orders going, they're 6 to 8 weeks. And then if there's a lot, it's 8 to 10 weeks. It just depends on how many open orders he has. Because in reality, he needs to give himself time to get product in so that he can create the pop. And he needs to have a fair amount of shipping time to get it from us, our house, to your house. But it's amazing how few people read the actual listings, even though it says in time for Easter. My daughter starts basketball again this weekend. Ugh. You guys, January seems to have been flying by. That is a real crappy drill there. This is what happens when you work in the dark. Come on. Ay. Okay, you guys, I am driving that struggle bus today. I know I'm always, like, on the Hot Mess Express, but, like, woo-wee. Oh my God, I'm like 15 minutes in and I've barely spoken about anything. Those who stick with me week after week, I love you guys. I know that you are truly just here for the rambles, and I love it. Which is funny, because that's something I've been saying since the very first time I did a video or a live or whatever. It's still going this many years later. It's crazy, you guys. If you've been here with me from the beginning, let me know. I know it comes and goes and like ebbs and flows. Not just my channel, like any channel. Like, there are content creators who I have followed from the beginning, but I just don't consistently watch their videos. And it's totally normal. Like, if you're somebody who, you know, you feel bad because you used to watch somebody and you don't watch them anymore, like, we know our lives change, your lives change, your preferences change. Maybe you don't relate to someone the same way, or maybe something that you used to find entertaining, you find grating now, and it's totally okay. And that's why people subscribe to other channels, because they are looking to fill something, you know. So if you are here and I fill something for you, I appreciate that. I hope that you guys do know that. Anyway, so we had kind of a chill day, even though she had school. I think that was the day we watched Sleeping Beauty. We did get snow. I don't remember if it was that day. It might have been that day. And I saw a reel the other day that made me realize, like, oh, maybe people don't know this. That if you don't live in a climate that has snow, not all snow is the same. And if you don't live anywhere, if you've never experienced snow, that might seem like crazy, but the really wet, heavy snow is not good for building a snowman. It's better to go sledding in because it can pack down, but, you know, there's powder snow, there's really wet snow, like the really wet, heavy snow, like that stuff sucks to shovel. But this was not really good, like, snowman building snow, and she's been wanting to build a snowman for like 2 years, and we just, I'm hoping that was like our one big snow of the year. It's weird because, like, we used to get snow, I don't know, it feels like much more, but, grab some more of this color. But, you know, she keeps saying to me, Mommy, do you want to build a snowman? Which I know she got from Frozen, because sometimes she sings it. Do you want to build a snowman? And she asked me yesterday, I'm like, Briar, there's no snow out there. And she's like, oh. I mean, as an adult, I don't like driving in it. I don't like getting my kid in and out of the car in it. I'd rather be warm and dry inside my own home than wet and cold outside. You know? Maybe that's just me. Are you guys snow people? But it's been unusually quiet the last 2 years in terms of snow, which is okay with me. But I think that's really all we did then. Did I say we watched Sleeping Beauty? She watched Sleeping Beauty. She was so enthralled with it. I wasn't sure, because it's an older movie, if she would enjoy it as much. Nope, she loved it. She's like super into the princesses right now. All right, get off my pen. I wish I knew where my straightener was, because all of those just went on crooked. Wah. I have a middle placer. Maybe that'll help me kind of sort of straighten. I used to, at all times, have... It's actually like an old hotel key. Or a gift card. Those kinds of things are really good at helping you straighten if you don't have a straightener. But these are like really big areas. So, anyway. I feel like I'm just rambling more than normal. Anyway, Tuesday we went to Tots, which is our ice skating. My husband and I are debating back and forth because they're going to be opening up the sign-ups for the summer camp soon, and if my daughter can handle it or not. And I tried, okay, so my daughter last year went to summer camp, or nature camp, for 3 days. It was 3 half days. That was the first time she was ever, like, away from us. And she loved it. And I've been stalking their website, and I couldn't find any information. So I finally emailed them, because the dates that she went last year was the same week that the ice skating camp was. So I wanted to see if that was still available, because if that was available, then, you know, at least I'd have that. And they were like, oh, yeah, and it's already full. And I'm like, how did it fill up? How are these people finding it? Because I've been on your website, like, regularly. I was a little bit upset, and they're like, oh, well, we have an afternoon session available. I don't know about you guys. My kid does not function in the afternoon as well as she does in the morning, and I am not... Why does that not feel sticky right there? That's just me. I'm being delusional. So it's kind of a bummer, because, like, she really, really loved that, and we really enjoyed it, and she's too old for it next year. It was for kids who are 4 and 5, pre-K and kindergarten age children. or pre-K and heading into kindergarten, whatever it is. So that's kind of a bummer. I can be put on the wait list, but, you know, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth putting us on the wait list. But anyway, I want to sign her up for this summer camp, but it's a full day, and she just really doesn't listen to anyone about anything ever. So I don't know, and I don't want to, like, throw away money, but I also think this would be a good opportunity. One of the other mothers, her 2 kids are in Briar's Tots class. She wants to sign her kids up, and I was like, well, if they're going to be there, maybe that'll be a motivator for her to, like, want to spend time with them and follow the rules, but I don't know. I don't know, and I just don't want to throw money away, you know what I mean? It's, gosh, parenting is so tough. It's decision making, that's what's tough. But anyway, so we did that, and then I have been on the hunt for tights, like dance tights. That's what her coach recommended that she wear under her skate pants. So she used to wear whatever she wore, and then she would put snow pants on and a jacket over it. We've progressed, and now she wears skate pants, which are athletic pants that are fleece lined. But sometimes she says she's still cold. Part of that is because, like, instead of actually skating, she'll just, like, play and roll around on the ice and, you know, do all the things that you would expect somebody would do when they're getting cold. And she's such a hoot. But so I don't know if you guys know this, you're supposed to wear very thin socks when you ice skate. And we often wear these knee highs from a shop that we were repping for. We rep for them. She has reps off and on, so like right now she has no reps for her company, but when then she brings them back, then we usually apply for the team again. But she makes hers out of double brush poly, which if you've ever had a pair of like LuLaRoe leggings, like that really buttery soft, that's the same material. So they're very thin, very stretchy socks, and those are perfect. But sometimes I need to have days where she can throw the tights on underneath. So I've been on the hunt for tights, and not like ribbed tights, because those are too thick, and you also don't want ribbed ones because then they leave like the marks on your skin when you're skating. So my kid is tall and skinny, and the tight sizes are 2 to 4T or 4 to 6T. She's probably like in between the two. So the one, they're long enough for her, but the waist is too big. Or the other ones, the waist fits her, but they're not quite as long. So I got a bunch of different ones. So we headed over to Target. The one Target only had the small size. Like they didn't have the next size up. Or they only had like 2 sizes bigger. And I was like, well, this, doesn't help. But then I also found some over in like the toddler section and not just in the dancewear section. So I bought this kid like 15 pairs of tights. So hopefully some of these work for what they need them to. And if not, you know, she's a dress kind of kid, because pants don't work for her. Such a funny thing. You know, we complain as adults how like, oh, we have to get our pants hemmed and all these things, but you never think about it for a kid. And let me tell you, my kid is one of those kids. Like, she needs extra length on her pants, or her waist taken in, or whatever. So thank God adjustable pants exist. But also we get handmade stuff, so I can have them add, you know, 3 extra inches of length to something if I need it, or whatever I need. So we headed over to Target, and we picked up this really cute, like, My Little Pony Polly Pocket. Now, my daughter has no idea what a Polly Pocket is. She does like the My Little Ponies, and I saw this, and I was like, ooh, this would be really good for when we go to, like, a restaurant. We need something to help us kill time. And I was right. Now, she opened it up at the restaurant, and oh my God, I did not realize how many, like, useless tiny parts that thing had. If I have a picture of it, I'll throw it up here. If not, you guys could just use your imagination. Oh, or you could use your imagination and look at the photo, whatever. I'm not here to judge. Where did that bad drill just go? I want to call it a bad drill. It just has a hole in it. You guys. So while I'm looking at my drills here, are you guys planning on participating in any events next month? Or are you still working on your Alice kits or what? There's so many events going on. So many events. I remember when I started this, like there were not nearly as many events. And now there's so many events like each month that you could find something to do every single month if you wanted to. But I will say, a lot of us who've been diamond painting for at least a couple years, who have done the gamut of tons of events, a lot of people, this is just like my little advice from me to you. A lot of people really like rush and try to get a canvas done for each event that they're participating in, whether it be because there's a prize or because they want to start another one the next month or whatever. If you push yourself too hard, it's a really easy way to burn yourself out. So just, if you're going to participate in events, just do them in a pace that's fun. Don't force yourself to finish. Don't force yourself to basically stop enjoying it because you're just trying to get it done. Trying to move on to the next one, you know. That's just my little advice. I'll look through the event list to see if there's anything that matches with my preferences, what's in my stash, things like that. I have so many canvases, like I think a lot of us do, and not in a boastful way, but enough that I don't need to go out and purchase to participate in an event. So for me, Ashley is hosting the Damsel event beginning in February, which I will link her information down below if you guys want to check that out. But if you're doing like Shadow Alice, or one of the other Curtis Alice in Wonderland kits for my event, you can also use it for her event. So that's cool. And I've got quite a few damsels. I just don't know if I'm prepared at this time, like right now, to work on such a large canvas. And that's just a personal thing. I did so many big canvases for so long that like I just want something that's more manageable. Like this one's a cutie. She's a 56 by 56, so not too big at all. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. So we got that little Polly Pocket thing and we went to Chili's because it's in the same parking lot as Fridays or Target. Jeez. And we pulled it out and it worked like a charm. She did really, really well at lunch. And they must have been having some, my husband pointed it out. It seemed like all of their upper management was there. Like the restaurant manager, the district manager, because all these people in suits kept coming in to checking on us, and everything you can tell was being scrutinized, and make sure you're doing this, make sure you're doing this, make sure you're doing this. And one of them was like, wow, that really kept her attention. And I was like, it sure did. I was like, nailed it. This was a good purchase. Of course, it doesn't tell you on the box, which is super annoying, which ponies are in it. So, of course, I had to Google, and like, she's asking me, who's this? What did they do? And I'm like, I don't know. I think one was Alpha Biddle. I don't know that one. All right, so in case anyone is curious, do you ever need a large light pad? Not really. Unless you're somewhere where everything is like fixed and situated and you can't move it. I just shift mine from like place to place. Let me make sure there's no more of this. What symbol are you? There's so many shades of brown in this because of like the cog. But I can't tell what that symbol is. I think it's this. Oh, this is a new one to me. Come on, focus. It is a square inside of a square inside of a circle. Do you guys name your symbols? Because I do. I mean, not all of them. Like, obviously, if it's a 1, it's 1. That makes sense. What are you? Like, is that bacon? Is that a slide? What is it? You guys tell me. Like, this one I call the U-turn. You know. Which, that's what I'm going to be working with right now, so. You guys, I feel like this has just been one of those days already. So anyway, we ended up making these Lisa Frank unicorn cookies. If you're of a certain age, you remember all things Lisa Frank. I saw them in the market when I was with my husband. We had to pick up his medicine at our pharmacy is inside the supermarket, so we had to pick up his medicine. The one wasn't ready, so we had to go back and get it another day. We've made like 3 runs to the market to get his medicine, so I was like, well, I'm going to get something while we're here, and I got those cookies. I'll put a picture of them up on the screen here. This is what the box looked like. You guys, they did not look like that. They were like blurry and like weird, and I am not what you would call gifted in the kitchen. I don't enjoy it. I do not find it relaxing. I am not good at baking. Like, I ruin everything. I can ruin like prepackaged cookies. I somehow I burn everything. I measure things wrong, whatever it may be. But we got these, and my husband said they tasted just like sugar. To me, they tasted just like butter, and not in like a, ooh, that's good. Not like a, ooh, that's buttery, like butter. And I didn't enjoy them. And I'm pretty sure that we ate like 4 of them, and the rest of them either got thrown away or got hard and then thrown away. But we did that, and they were gross. So the next day, we took Briar to school, and then we made a Staples run. So if you guys didn't know, my husband, and if you ever want to see his stuff, everything's linked down below. So he makes the custom pops. He has ones that he sells in his shop that are already made. Those obviously are not like of you. If you want a custom of yourself, of your spouse, of your best friend, your teacher, your neighbor, whoever, those are made to order. And every custom pop, whether it's one that he sells in his shop, which he usually has like a Joker, Chester from Lincoln Park. He's got MJF, I think, right now. I don't know who everybody is, but that, anyway, he also designs and makes and assembles the box that goes with it. However, it is not one that you can just use like your regular at-home printer to make. He uses it on really heavy cardstock that he has to provide to Staples because they don't even make or sell that cardstock there. And unfortunately, the way the world is going right now, the people who used to make his boxes for him, like print them for him, they have left. And we've had situations. We had a situation where there was a new manager that was hired, and he wanted to take it upon himself to take on this project that he knew nothing about, and wasted like an entire ream of Brian's paper. And as I mentioned, they don't sell it there, so it wasn't like they could replace it. He has to order it and wait for it to be delivered, and then he has to bring it in. So like that added like another week to his time, because he had to wait for the replacement paper to come and then have it reprinted. And of course, we went to go to Staples to get the boxes made, and that was the guy who was working, and he's like, cool. So they no longer will print them while you wait. Like, you have to come back. And usually my husband has no problem with that, but he wanted to make sure like they could get the settings right, because it's not just like, let me put in a piece of paper, hit print, and there it is. It has to be like resized in a certain way, or not stretched to fit the page. I don't know what the exact details are, and I'm not giving away his trade secrets, but it was one of those situations where he just wanted to make sure before he left them with all of his paper that they weren't going to screw it up. And then they screwed it up, and over half of them had to be reprinted. And, like, it's great that they don't charge him for the ones they screw up, but they also have his paper, and he gives them X amount of sheets. So he had to come back in with even more paper because they blew through all that paper and had to have it reprinted. A lot of times we do this, like, after we pick up Briar, or, like, on a day that she's not going anywhere, but not this time. This time we did it on a day where it's just me and him, and then I picked up, like, a learning book for her, so we can work on our letters and numbers at home. I have noticed that, especially lowercase letters, she really struggles between a lowercase d, p, b, and q. To her, they all look the same. And, you know, I don't know if that's like normal of every 4 or 5-year-old, or if that's something that I should be, you know, concerned about. And this is the stuff I'm talking about when I say, like, do I want her evaluated by the school for things like that? Or, I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, it was just one of those situations that, like, took forever. And when we left, they were printing them properly. So I don't know what happened along the way that something changed. But, I I assume they printed them all back to back to back to back, but I don't know. So that sucks. But since we were over on that side of town, I was like, why don't we go to Starbucks? I'd rather have Starbucks than Dunkin'. He's like, yeah, that's fine. And I really enjoyed their pistachio latte. Like, really, really enjoyed it. Then, let's see. The next day was Thursday. So, Erica of Kevin's Creations, she is the one who makes all of the gorgeous resin pieces, the cover minders, the blanks, all of that, and then Kevin turns them. Her and I had discussed diamond painting together again. We had done it previously. I talked about that in one of my other WIP and chats. And we would like to make this like a regular or semi-regular thing. We've been friends with Kevin and Erica for many years now. And it's only more recently that she's started diamond painting. So it's nice to have somebody to diamond paint with. If you guys know someone, even if they're not like your best friend, if you know someone who diamond paints, like doing it together is so fun. You guys, highly, highly recommend. So I ended up going to her house. Sorry, I am like really thirsty. And if you guys have any recommendations for really good ice cube trays, let me know, because I have like the long water bottle ones and they don't fit in the water bottles, which suck. But our water in our faucet never gets like really that cold. So when I'm craving like a really cold drink, it blows through my ice cubes in one cup. Anyway, so I went over to Erica's house and we were diamond painting together. So I had to kit down my Alice in Roses and kit up. I'm going to put the photo up on the screen here for you guys to see. This is all the stuff that I brought. That included my butt pillow, my new diamond painting, an Elizabeth Ward storage kit. I have a couple of them, and basically what I do when I kit down, I take all of the containers and I throw them all into a box. And I try to use as many of the smallest ones as I can so that I don't have to use more than one tray, if possible. And so I kitted up and then I started, and I got the entire bottom section of the black here done at her house in one day. It was crazy, but I realized after I had gotten there and sat down, I said, shit, I forgot my light pad. And she's like, oh, and I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll be all right. I'm just color blocking. Well, clearly you can see down here maybe, I wasn't that straight. I don't really care. Listen, I'm one of those people. If you're coming to my house and you're looking at my diamond paintings up close and you're judging, then you probably have bigger things going on in your life. Nobody's going to be seeing these things up close. You guys are seeing them up close more than anyone else because I'm like literally filming and staring at it. But it was so much fun. We always have a good time, and we're going to try to make this like a regular thing. But it's funny. I go over there and Erica feeds me as if like I haven't eaten in ages. She always has something good and home cooked, and I really appreciate that her and her husband open up their home to me so that I can come over and craft and hang out and, you know, get a little time away from the tiny human. Oh, good. The static is back. No, static. Piss off. Staticky drills are like one of the biggest like buzzkills for diamond painting for me. What about you guys? What do you think? Like, I've got Erica handed me a dryer sheet because I didn't bring one with me. I wasn't expecting this to be my situation. But then sometimes they like charge your tray when you pour them out, and then you have to like rub your tray down, and then the wax gets like, you go to pick them up and they all scatter. But anyway, so yeah, I had a good time. I was there for a really long time. I was there from like lunchtime to my kiddo's bedtime. And my daughter has a video monitor in her bedroom. And so I pulled it up when it was her bedtime so I could say goodnight to her, tell her I loved her, you know, all this stuff. And they were sitting there and I'm talking to Briar. And I was like, just so you guys know, that entire conversation was had with her while she was sitting on the toilet. Which got a nice little chuckle. But yeah, it was fun. I highly recommend it. We just sit at a table together, and honestly, like, I'm glad this isn't a giant canvas because, like, I don't know if I'd be able to bring a really large canvas unless I had it, like, rolled, just simply for the logistics of it. But there's not really a place in my house that would house both of us. Although, you know, it might be nice. And Erica, if you're watching, let me know. When it gets nice out, maybe pulling out, like, the card table that we have, or, like, a long table, and just sitting outside and diamond painting away while the birds chirp. But not on a windy day, because that sounds like a nightmare. I'm always jealous when I see people, like, just chilling on their back patio. Oh, it's gorgeous out. Look at us. We're diamond painting, you know? Oy. Where do you guys diamond paint? Let me know down below. I'd be really, really curious. You guys probably know by now I diamond paint on our 3rd floor. This is like our hobby craft room. My husband works like over this way. We've got collectibles all around us. There's Ninja Turtle collectibles. We've got Legos. We've got sports memorabilia. We've got a bajillion pops in here, which I only own a couple pops, and I think that's surprising to a lot of people, seeing that my husband is a huge pop guy. I have a flocked Cookie Monster, which are like the fuzzy ones, which if you are a child of the 80s, you probably remember those fuzzy stickers. It's like that. And then I have a Pride Rainbow Batman somewhere, and then I have the Schitt's Creek Fold in the Cheese set of David and Moira. I think that's it. Sure, if my husband was in here, he'd be like, "You're forgetting this." But yeah, let's see what else. Oh, and then I was alerted to the holiday poll. If you guys are members of the Diamond Art Club VIP Facebook group, you'll know that they do these polls from time to time. They're gauging interest to see what their customer base, what they want, what they like. And I was alerted that there were multiple. This one was for Christmas, winter, holiday. That's what this poll was. And I was alerted that there were multiple options for Hanukkah. And if you guys have been here long enough, you've heard my crusade for, like, I want to be included in the conversation. I'm tired of companies having, like, 400 options for Christmas and not a single one for Hanukkah. Or if somebody has one for Hanukkah, making me feel like I should be thankful that there's at least one. And, like, if you are one of those people that thinks I should be thankful, then this probably isn't the channel for you, because I should have options. I shouldn't be forced to purchase the one and only because it's the one and only. So there were 6 options, 5 of which were just like floating menorahs. Like a menorah on a black background, a menorah on a blue background, I would like more than just symbolism. Like, that would be like taking all of your Christmas options away and giving you just a cross. Like, you want more than that. And I did do the Hanukkah one that they had, that they ended the contract with that agency. That one was from McNeil Studio, and a lot of people are misinformed and say that that got discontinued because it didn't sell well. I couldn't tell you how it sold, but I can tell you that it got discontinued because they ended the entire contract. If you guys would like to see the post review for that one, I'll put that one up in the eye. It was a gorgeous image, and it was a menorah in like a snowy window. You could see the snow-covered trees in the background, but you could feel that there was a family on the other side of that. And I want the warmth and not just the symbolism. I want to have options. I did vote for 2 of them, and I'm really excited to see what happens. I will tell you, I will be completely gutted if, when they do their holiday releases later this year, if there are 0 Hanukkah options. If 0 of those made it, I'm going to be devastated. And I know people are going to say it's all about money, and if they don't think they're going to profit enough off of it, then they're not going to make it. But if you have that much, like that many people saying to you, like, we need options for Hanukkah as well, and you don't think they're going to sell as well as your Christmas ones, then don't produce as many. They always have the option to reprint more if they need to in the future, but I'd rather be able to get it than for them to not offer it at all. And I know I'm not alone in this, and so I hope that anyone else who is in my situation had an opportunity to vote. I've had people say to me, "I voted for all of them," and I'm like, well, they're not going to make all of them. You know, unfortunately, my mindset, which I think is pretty accurate, is we would be lucky if they would make one. So we'll see. I'm really hopeful. Diamond Art Club, please, 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 please release at least one of them. I did recommend to their art department. There was a Hannah Lynn coloring book that had a gorgeous Hanukkah scene. However, I think she only ever did it in grayscale because it was for her coloring book. I don't think she's ever colored it, which would obviously make very difficult to make a diamond painting out of something that was never in full color. But that's just my 2 cents. But yeah, it was funny. I was looking at them with Erica at the house, and like, it's so funny to me. I understand that we live in a society where people assume this is a Christian society, but like, not only do you have your very Christmassy, your Santa images and your Christmas tree images and your like wintry scene images, but then you have like Christmas cats, Christmas dragons, a Christmas shoe, a Christmas there was a really cute Christmas Hannah Lynn one with the reindeer going over the moon and like her mermaid tail in full effect. I thought that was cute. And I'm not saying like I don't think there should be Christmas options. I'm saying there should be more, we should be more inclusive. And lest us not forget that Christmas and Hanukkah are not the only things that are celebrated in the winter. But I digress. So that was my Thursday, which was a lot of fun. A lot of fun, you guys. I realized after doing it, like if you guys didn't know, I injured my tailbone, and my husband and I were having the conversation the other day, because I kept saying to him, I was like, I literally have no idea what I did, when I did it, or how I did it, and he goes, it could very well have been from when you fell. When I sprained my ankle right after Christmas, it's because I fell ice skating, but I don't remember landing, like, on my side, or my butt, or, you know, I just kind of assumed it's because I'm 40 and my body is rapidly starting to fall apart on me, and you know, here we are. But he could be right, and I just was in so much pain with my foot that it didn't even register. But man, sitting for that many hours, it was a little rough. There is something on my canvas. It's a hair of some sort. That is not, looks like an eyelash, a straight eyelash, not like a curved eyelash. I don't know. You guys don't need to hear this. Oh my god, I feel like I'm just like rambling like crazy. So the next day I took Briar to school, and then I went over to the chiropractor. I go like once a month for regular maintenance, and I absolutely love my chiropractor. I love the office. I love the girls that work there. It just, they take good care of you. The girl who does the insurance stuff, like, explains everything to you. I'm like, why doesn't every doctor's office have somebody like that? Because unless you're somebody who has worked in the medical field or worked for an insurance company, like, I don't know what most of this stuff means. I don't know how you figure things out. I don't understand exactly how insurance works. And I know I'm not alone in that. Do I need this color anymore? No. Goodbye, bacon. What's shaken, bacon? I'll pull out my black. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. And then I need the sands of time, the hourglass. What number are you? What number are you? This makes for thrilling, I'm sure. 34. This one, I call that like the hourglass or the sands of time. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, my chiropractor. So, I went in and I got adjusted, and I was telling her about my tailbone, and she was telling me that California, she believes, is the only place that this is allowed. And this, let me preface it by saying, like, I'm not on the hunt for this, but I'm just sharing this with you guys because I think you'll get a good chuckle out of it the same way I did. They have chiropractors who specialize in tailbone issues from the inside. Like, they literally stick their finger into your butt and adjust your tailbone from the inside. And I'm like, nope, 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 nope. Like, I can't imagine the patient that's like, this is what I want to get done today, or the doctor that does it on the regular. So, if you live in California, that's an option for you if you ever feel like you need it. But, I shouldn't say but here we are. So anyway, I got adjusted. I went on the decompression table. Oh my God, my body needed that. I didn't go on the decompression table last time because I was on crutches. and it was just a little too much for me to get up and down and maneuver and all of these things. But you guys, if you don't see a chiropractor regularly, maybe you don't know like how beneficial it can be. But man, I left that appointment and I was feeling good. I was feeling recharged, and I was right across the street from where there's that same Starbucks. So I was like, I'm gonna go treat myself to a Starbucks. Twice in 1 week. You guys, I haven't had Starbucks in like weeks before that. So I was very excited about that. How are we on time? Okay. Then we took Briar to her private lesson. So she has a private lesson during public skate on Fridays. And I walked in and I saw a former friend of mine, and I don't think that she would have even recognized me at all because, well, I just chopped off all my hair. I dyed it a different color. I'm wearing a mask. And same thing with my daughter. Like, she wouldn't have recognized it was my kid because she was wearing a helmet. It's been a couple years since we've seen her. But I will say the kid was out with their father. If you're going to go ice skating with a small child and you need to pick them up, like, don't pick them up to, like, the adult eye level. Because then when they're flailing their legs around, like, blades are at other people's head level. And that's scary. They were nowhere near us, and, you know, it is what it is. I have to imagine I'm going to run into people that I dislike in general because, you know, we all live in the same area. Our kids are all the same age. They are probably likely to do similar activities. So, but yeah, that was fun. My daughter worked on doing a spiral. If you guys don't know what that is, that's when they put their leg out straight behind them. And if I have a photo, I'll put it in. If not, I might have a video clip. Yeah, it was really nice. She was working really, really hard this week. Last week, she was so distracted and just completely unable to focus on anything. So it was a nice change of pace to see her back focusing and working hard. And then in the evening, we went to a sports card show at a mall that's about an hour away. My husband had pretty good luck going to card shows at that mall before, so we were like, let's do it. We'll go eat in the food court. He's like, there's a Chick-fil-A. So apparently that Chick-fil-A is no longer there. The card show was a bust. He said there was like really not like a fraction of the vendors that normally are. Most of the stores in the mall, like, they just ran on whatever hours they want. So, like, we tried to go to a store, and the mall didn't close for, like, another hour, and they were already closed. I was like, oh, all right. So, it was just one of those, like, really, like, rough situations. She was having trouble. She had been in the car for so long, and then there was, like, nothing for her to do, nothing for her to look at. Like, I wasn't, like, let's go shopping, but it's hard when you can't even, like, entertain them. Like, there's literally nothing to do at this mall. And then we went to the food court, and I was like, what is this? There was 4 restaurants open. I ended up going to the Chinese restaurant, which was definitely not my preference. I like Chinese food. I don't like mall Chinese food. Call me snobby, whatever. It's just not my jam. And then they had a minimum for the credit card, and I ended up ordering all this food that I knew I wasn't going to eat just because I needed to hit the credit card minimum. And then I was like, how much are the bottled drinks? And he's like, which one? I'm like, any of them. I don't even care. So he's like, he put it in the register, and I was at like 10:03. I was like, perfect, let's do that. And I was like, I'll take a water. Well, the water wasn't the same price as the other drinks, so now I was under $10 again. And I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, it's fine, just go ahead. And I was like, and then it was not even good. Brian and Briar ended up eating at a Subway, and the lady was like, we don't have any mustard. And he's like, what do you mean you don't have any mustard? Well, they had mustard packs, but they didn't feel like telling him that. They just told him they didn't have mustard. So then my daughter was like freaking out because she wanted mustard on her sandwich. It was a nightmare. And then I was like, well, there's a restaurant on the outside as we walked in. Nope, that was closed by the time the mall closed. I was like, this sucks. It was just a rough day. I did not enjoy it. They did not enjoy it. It was just a lot of like anger and frustration and just like kind of feelings, you know? But the next day we went down to visit my parents, which was fantastic. So my mom had told me she didn't really want to she was like, well, what if we go somewhere and do something instead? And I was like, okay, well, what would you like to do? I personally, like, we have taken my daughter to the trampoline park before, but personally, like, with my foot the way it is, I don't want to have to chase after her. And then, you know, my parents are basically just sitting on a bench for 2 hours. I didn't know if they would be willing to go watch Briar ice skate, because I didn't know would that be too cold for them, although it turned out to be a beautiful day. So instead, my mom came up with this great idea. We were going to make charcuterie. So she went to an Italian market near her and got all these different meats and cheeses and nuts and sweets and all these things. And Briar brought, we have these, they're kid-safe knives. They are real knives, but they are made out of plastic, and they're all serrated. Kind of like a bread knife, but they do work. And so she was sitting there and she was helping slice the cheese into cubes, or cubes that would be cubes shaped for, you know, a 5-year-old with a knife. And there were marinated artichokes and different kinds of crackers, and she got stromboli and pepperoni, pretzel, like all crazy amounts of stuff. And it ended up being the perfect thing to do, because not only was it a fun activity for her to do with Briar, but then we all ate it, and that was our lunch. And she did that because she knows Briar really likes charcuterie, which, if you guys didn't know, Briar really likes charcuterie. And we let her know, like, keep in mind, she's probably going to snack while you guys are making it, so she may not sit and actually eat that much when it's all said and done. And my mom was like, no, not a problem, which is exactly what happened. She ate her weight in grapes, and then didn't want that much more to eat, and and then was done and ready to play again. And it was a fantastic time. We haven't seen my parents since Hanukkah, and it's nice to do things with them. You know, she's at an age where she likes to do stuff, but my parents are also at an age where it's harder to keep up with her physically, so we have to find the right happy medium of thing to do that's going to occupy Briar, but not wear everyone out. And that day wore us out as parents, because, you know, we're traveling, we're driving, we're chasing after her. And overall, it was a really good day. She was pretty well behaved. And it was a nice time, and I'm glad we did it. And I'm hoping that we can do it again soon. So Sunday, the Eagles won. If you guys are football people, I'm from the Philadelphia area, so born and bred an Eagles fan. So it's exciting that they're going to the Super Bowl. Who's the halftime performer this year? Is it Rihanna? Or did I just make that up? I may have just made that up. I don't know. Don't quote me, because, you know. But it was funny. On Sunday, we went to my daughter's favorite restaurant, as I was just informed, which is the Crab Place. And it's one of those, it's similar to like a Joe's Crab Shack kind of place. They have the crab pots, and it's like seafood boils. And Brian brought up a really good point. He's like, I wish that they had like anything fresh on their menu, like a salad. And they didn't have salads. They just have like seafood and rice, basically. And it was funny. The lady behind us, she kept saying to the waitress, like, well, I'm keto. What do you have that I could eat? And I'm like, first of all, if you have dietary restrictions of any kind, you should be perusing the menu before you go to a place to make sure that they can accommodate you. But also, this woman clearly doesn't know what it means to be keto, because she was like, well, that comes with rice. And the lady's like, I can't eat that. And she's freaking out. And then she's like, and you can see he doesn't have an arm, so he can't eat the seafood. And I'm like, it's not the waitress's job to feel bad or to be guilted into like, oh, this table can or cannot physically eat this. Like, she doesn't know what your limitations are. You know, she's simply bringing you your food. And it was funny listening to this lady like rant and rave. And I was like, she's like, do you have any unsweetened iced tea? No. Do you have any, they didn't have any coffee. Then she goes, great. Since I'm keto, the only thing I can drink here is water. And I'm like, oh my God, everyone in the restaurant now knows this lady is keto. But anyway, we got our crabs. I usually add a ½ pound of crab to my order, and I break them apart for her, and she ate every single last bite of that crab in like a minute. I was like, holy crap, kid. So yeah, she really likes going there because she can also color on the table because they have the paper sheets down. So, but I think this is a good place to end. I hope that you guys enjoyed this WIP and chat. If you made it all the way to the end, leave me a bunch of crab emojis. You know, why not? If you like this video and you'd like to see more videos like this, please make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. One real life, one virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Come, join the Sparkle Squad. And while you're there, hit that notification bell. I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time, and I record when my tiny human is sleeping or sleeping. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye, guys!